So first of all, I want to thank you, Braynard, for coming on to our sponsorship spotlight and welcome you. You are about the fourth one I've done, so I feel like I'm getting better every time.
All right. It is an honor. It is an honor to be a sponsor for TBM, Terrence Ball and Music.
Thank you. It's an honor to have you guys. And I ask everyone, so I have to ask you, who has been your favorite so far with Wednesday Night
Wow. I love music,
Live?
so I don't choosing a favorite. I'm gonna say this, okay. I'm sure everybody have said Ruben Studdard because
Yes.
everybody knows the star power of Ruben Studdard. But I would definitely say Toya Jones,
Yeah.
Hear Me Fly,
Oh,
and I
Jeremy.
can't and I got to my man Rodney Wilkerson. I got to that. I text Terrence. I told Terrence that's my partner. He acting like Bobby Brown, but that is my boy. So,
Well, that's what's up. So let's jump right into this interview. I'm definitely interested to know
mhm.
what got you guys started with the mortuary.
Wow, it's a very that's a great awesome question. Believe it or not, my business partner Marius Chasen, and then we do have a third business partner, Mr. Clarence Crawford. But Mars is pretty much Morris and I. Morris and I became friends. We were freshmen at Alabama State University.
Hmm.
However, after my sophomore year, I left because I just had this burning desire to be a mortician. And believe it or not, in my dream, I was standing in the front of the church at the time, Lily Baptist, where I said I grew up in my home church,
Hmm.
standing down front in front of a casket with my hands folded. And I said, wow, that's what I want to be. That's what I want to be.
Wow.
Yep,
That's a very interesting story.
it is.
And
It
it's
is.
so interesting because we often fear death,
Mhm.
and you see it so much, and you're like literally hands on with it. And you have
Yeah.
to have a certain type of spirit, you have to have a certain type of fight, you have to have a tremendous faith and strength to be
Hmm.
able to do that. So I commend you. So we're gonna change gears here right quick because I could honestly talk to you about that in particular
Okay.
all
All
day.
right. Yes.
But
Yes.
so my next question is, right now we're in the middle of a pandemic. So have you guys seen like a spike in business since we've come into this COVID-19?
Yes. Definitely. Our business is based totally on relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Typical with the African American culture. Whoever buried your grandmother, your grandfather, that's who the family is gonna stick with.
Such tradition, right?
That's
Like we're
tradition.
and we're gonna
That's
be buried
tradition.
next to them
That's right.
and everything.
No matter what. And so, being with that being said, it's about relationships. So with the spike in with COVID, yes, definitely. COVID, we kind of were in some uncharted waters. It's something that we totally
Definitely.
did not expect. We was caught off guard, and then the procedures, of handling COVID cases. I am the embalmer here. I am the mortician, so we have to take uh, significant precautions when we're embalming to see this with COVID. So to answer that, yes, have a loved one that unfortunately succumbs to COVID,
Mm-hmm.
it's very hard on the loved ones simply because they did not get a chance to be there with their loved ones because they can't go to the hospital. They can't sit next to them and hold their hand.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very challenging to deal with families who have lost a loved one to COVID. Because think about it, some that may have lost, I know families that we've serviced, their loved ones have some have may have been in the hospital since maybe like March or May, and then they lose their lives, in
Mm-hmm.
June, a month later, or we'll say maybe 14, 15, 16 days later, and they was on a ventilator possibly. You couldn't talk to them, you couldn't be there. So the sense of closure is missing. It was
Right.
missing. So
Right.
that's very challenging. That was very challenging.
So is there, because it's such a quick thing and it just happens and we're not prepared for it and we don't know, is there any type of service or COVID, and I hate to say COVID discount because I don't
Yeah.
want to desensitize it because it's so real,
Correct.
but is
Correct.
there
Yeah.
any type of savings that you guys
Savings.
are offering
Saving.
this time?
well, well. I would say this. It's really we don't really have just a particular price point for a COVID patient. However, we try to make sure that all our services are economical
Mhm.
for the consumers that we service. I only got one time to get it right. One time. I don't get a do-over for another funeral. And if I mess that up, I lose a generation of business. I lose a generation of trust because guess what? That family's not coming back to me again because
Mhm.
all they're gonna think about is they didn't do it right when they had the chance.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm so driven. Once we get a family in, service them to the best of our ability. So that's why we're just passionate about what we do.
I love it. As you can tell that you're